we were having a morning meeting. My manager always plays a song on YouTube to like 5 till the meeting starts.
Yeah.
And when everybody signs in, then they're listening to the song.
Okay.
And this week's song was Taylor Swift. You need to calm down. So we're all listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Well, the song ends.
Okay.
And before my manager can turn off the song on the YouTube, it goes to the next video and we hear, "Welcome to my vagina." And so I was like, "Hey, everybody, good morning." And Darren, let's toss to you. How do you follow that? Can't say that.
No, you can't. You can't.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the podcast that has a different open every single week. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hey, welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. I'm Mike.
And I'm Darren. This is episode number 63.
Start your timers, folks. We're going to be funny within the first 2 minutes.
Guaranteed. Well, we've talked about this, and we've talked about this for months and months, that Mike and I were going to go to Cleveland.
We went to the land
and we
of the
went
Cleves.
to the land of Cleves. We went to the Gojira concert. We went to the land of Cleves.
Yeah.
And I personally would like to thank all of the great people in the city of Cleveland who came out to, because we have said it for months. We're going to be there. We're going to be at the Gojira concert.
Yeah.
We're going to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And how many people came up to meet us? Dan. So nobody.
Yeah.
So thanks,
Well,
Cleveland.
Dan's not nobody.
Well, no, I love Dan, but he knew we were coming.
Yeah. So did all these jackalopes we've been telling for 2 months.
Not one single
Not
person.
one of you mother scratchers.
I'm walking around the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with my Irritable Dad Syndrome
Just
t-shirt.
waiting to be mauled.
Just come on, please, somebody pay attention to me.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nobody.
No.
So, but anyway, Cleveland, it's a nice town. Nice enough.
Yeah. It's angular.
Yeah,
I was complaining about driving around it.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, you'll run into a building or a pedestrian.
Yeah.
But yeah, we visited Dan. We saw his Star Wars collection.
Oh my God, this guy has the most awesome collection of Star Wars memorabilia of anybody that I know personally. So Netflix has the Toys That Made Us series.
Yeah.
And the first episode was talking about Kenner Toys in Cincinnati.
All right.
And all the billions of dollars that were generated because of the Star Wars figures and the spaceships and everything.
Yeah.
And Dan's got a whole entire flipping room full of Star Wars.
And they're set up in scenes.
Yeah.
Like you've got the Dagobah the scene with
Hoth.
the X-Wing,
Yeah.
with the moss and crap on it, and the upside-down Luke, and the Yoda standing over there making his stew, and Luke's trying to lift that thing. You've got Hoth, you've got the Rancor, the Ewoks are in there, everything.
Bespin.
The Ghost Obi-Wan.
Yeah. It was incredible. It was amazing. So I'm going to tell
tons of
people,
pictures.
if you're ever up in the Cleveland area, run by Dan's house.
Yeah.
And he will gladly show you his Star Wars collection. It was very, very cool.
So the best thing about Dan's collection is the fact that he let me take pictures of it, and I will use those pictures because I am a gamer.
Yeah.
As some may know. And I have some of my things on display. I've been allowed a small area to display them.
About like a 4x4 area.
In the basement of our house.
Yep.
Dan has a whole room up on the upstairs.
Yeah, what makes him so special that he gets a whole room? I don't have a whole room.
Exactly, which is how the conversation is going to start.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting my stuff out, man. And then there's going to be holes, and I'm going to fill it with stuff. And that's just what's going to happen.
I think I can predict how this conversation is going to go. May I?
Sure.
You're going to say, Bess, I want a whole room full of my stuff.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, and in my defense, Dan has a whole room of his stuff. And Bess is going to say, well, why don't you marry Dan?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah.
That's a
possibility. You and Dan get along great.
Dan's great. So one thing that's very helpful about Dan is he has the best memory of all time. And we talked to him about being the Irritable Dad historian or fact checker.
Yes.
Because he does listen to the show. And I listen to as idiotic as I am, I listen to the show and find mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
But then when we talk to Dan, he gets like deep into the lore of me. And then now so at some point he knows you. At some point way off in the future, when you're 70,
right,
he'll say, "No, when you came to visit, you had this is the sandwich that you had at that Zub's place." And you're like, "My God!" And this is the first word. That's the level of his knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Glad we have him as our historian.
Yes.
So before we get any more involved into our Cleveland trip,
we need to talk about
our
patron.
We have a brand new patron.
Chris
Michael. Congratulations to Chris Michael.
Christopher Michael.
He is our brand new patron, and he loves the show so much that he said, I want to financially contribute to the show because I enjoy it. It makes me happy listening to it, and I want to help you guys keep it going. Because not only does he listen, he's listened to every single episode.
Yeah.
Now,
God help him.
He's going back to like the week in November or the week in October that we are a year ago and listening to those again.
Yeah.
This guy's a mega fan.
He's saying he's comparing how we sounded then, like dog crap,
right,
to how we sound now,
just like horse crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a higher, they're higher on
higher
the evolution.
grade.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Chris, thank you so much for becoming a patron. We sincerely appreciate everything you do, and we will not take this for granted.
You're right. So
absolutely.
Now the top 2 patrons
are named Chris.
Yes. And lo and behold, Chris just popped up on Twitch.
Yeah.
So a brief aside, something that we've started doing again is streaming the video here.
Listen, if there was a cage match, Chris versus Chris, who do you think would win?
Well, Chris Hughes has the Captain America shield.
Right.
So there you go. And he has no conscience.
Chris Michael has that arm length.
He does. But did I mention that Chris Hughes has no conscience?
That's true.
He may not have a soul.
No.
So,
he has no morals or standards.
No.
Right.
So I'm going to say Chris Hughes.
I'm going to make it interesting, and I'm going to say Chris Michael would just pummel Chris Hughes in a cage match.
So we need to have a Irritable Dad Syndrome event where the 2 Chris's appear.
Yeah. And then
you know what they're going to do?
Throw down. They're just go, hey, you're Chris, I'm Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that episode where they did this? Yeah. And then that's all they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them will go up. One of them will climb the tree out in front of my yard and get the poop down. That'll be the contest. The number 1 fan is the one that brings me the poop in the tree to me.
Giant major disappointment. Yeah. Chris meets Chris. Sunday. And then nothing will happen. So. Anyway, Chris Michael, thank you so much for becoming our patron. Thank you to our other patrons. And if you would like to become a patron, it's easy. You just go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, go to Patreon, and then look at which thing that you want to become a part of. Yeah. Click on it.
There's bonus stuff. There's bonus episodes. There's bonus audio.
Yeah.
We're in the process. I was just telling Darren about this before we started. We're in the process of making the video that we shoot for, we're on Twitch live, making that video available to patrons on the site.
Yeah, and you're going to love, because if you love listening to this podcast, you're going to love watching it.
Well, you do get to see some of how the sauce is made or whatever.
How the sausage is made.
Because, it's like, wait a second, they're talking about crap in the beginning that is in the middle of the episode.
Right.
That's because we ran out of to talk about. So we grabbed that weird stuff we said in the beginning and said, well, now that our standards are lower, it's in the middle now.
Exactly. You got to put it in there somewhere. Go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
And there's merchandise. I'm sorry. There's merchandise involved. Yes. Part of the reason why the 2 Chris's are in the upper echelon on that top line is because there is merch that comes along with it.
Yes.
Right now, there's a mug. There's a poster.
Exclusive.
There's going to be a hoodie. And we need to send, by the way, art to Patreon to get these things done. Otherwise, they're going to get a blank. Wouldn't that be
a Christmas card? It's just a white card in an envelope.
Just a white sheet of paper. Here's your poster.
Insert Christmas message here.
Bald dad in a snowstorm is the poster for this year.
Yeah, we kind of got to get on that Christmas card thing.
And this is the last thing I'll say about Patreon. Okay. I love it so much because there's so many things that have to be remembered about this podcast, when this needs to go up, when this needs to happen. Patreon is wonderful in sending notes.
Because they do it.
But they do it.
Because I can't remember.
But they need the art and they need stuff like that. So they'll send a pleasant note at first. Hey, you need, a mug is going out to these guys here in the next month.
Yeah.
Perhaps give us some art to put on it.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks from it, it's like, you're going to lose people if you don't start sending us art to put on the thing. So
basically,
you do it.
Patreon is our new wife.
Yeah.
I told you to do that.
Well, you said that. I didn't say that.
Right.
Okay.
But you agreed.
No.
Yeah.
It was a nervous yeah.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. Let me tell you something. The fine folks at Diff, well, they don't screw around. Diff has a unique enzyme action formula that dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. Do you like to futz around and spend all day doing stupid home repairs? I didn't think so. You know, a few years ago, I was helping my buddy Roger do some stuff around his house, and he needed some diff. So we went to the bar, had a few drinks, and then rode to the local hardware store. And you know what? They didn't have it. Well, we got on our horse and got the hell out of there and went someplace that did. Then we went back to the bar for some more drinks. Boy, were we glad we made that decision. Diff, it's the only one that really works. Now back to you, Buck and Dusty.
On our way up to Cleveland, we stopped at a convenience store, and we met a very interesting gentleman who worked there. An Indian gentleman. Yeah. He was wearing a mask, and he, I don't know, 90, 91 years old. How old do you think he was?
I didn't see him. I saw his hair.
He had the brightest, unnatural reddish orange hair, kind of like the dude in the Christmas what the hell's the name of that, the Sunmeister,
Burgermeister.
Yeah, the Burgermeister, whatever.
Anyway, the dentist. I want to be a dentist. Him?
No, never mind. Yeah, and so he had.
When we say red,
I mean on fire, red, orange hair.
If you go to our website and you see the Irritable Dad Syndrome logo, that red was the color of his hair.
Even redder.
Redder.
Yeah. And so I'm buying my pop and my Little Debbie snack cakes, and I just can't stop staring at this guy's hair.
He looked like a balding Ronald McDonald. He did. I went to a different person because I was concerned. I didn't know that he worked there. I thought he was just a guy that jumped across the thing.
Nice enough guy, but he looked like a Muppet. He did. His hair looked like Beaker.
Yeah. Yeah. That's terrible.
I thought, I wonder if he knows the guy with the handlebar mustache. I don't know. He might not, because they all, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone at a convenience store knows other people who work at convenience stores. It's true. It is true.
So we didn't go to Cleveland just to meet Dan.
No, we did not.
It was a highlight of the trip.
It was.
But we went there for the Gojira concert.
Yes.
I have become a large Gojira fan in every concept of that. I've become large, and I am a Gojira fan. And I also dig them very much. So I've been getting more and more excited about this show. What I'm not a fan of are the opening acts. A lot of times, the opening act will match the quality or be,
sometimes
you don't want your opening act to blow you away.
No.
If we were going to go do a stage show, we're not going to ask Bill Burr to open for us.
No.
We're going to ask the Muppet at the gas station to open for us. And then we'll go out.
595. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we'll do that. So when
we saw U2, One Republic opened up,
they were great.
They were insane. They were amazing. They were really, really good.
Yeah, and when I
went to see the Bare Naked Ladies, Guster opened up for them.
Okay.
I'd never heard of Guster,
right?
But Guster was amazing.
Yeah,
and I really loved them. They were really good. Not as good as Bare Naked Ladies, but very close.
When I went to see Pink Floyd, no one opened for them because no one can open for Pink Floyd.
Why even try?
And same thing with Rolling Stones. It was like, hey, we're the Rolling Stones. And
oh man, when I saw the Rolling Stones, Living Color opened up for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Cult of Personality.
We saw the Zip Code tour in 2015.
I saw them in '89 Steel Wheels tour.
That's back when they still needed an opener.
They didn't. They've never needed an opener.
Billy Joel, nobody opened for him either.
No, he doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
But the point is, the thing with Gojira is that is heavier metal than I typically listen to.
Way heavier than I ever listened to.
I like heavy metal, and the first time I listened to Gojira, I started laughing because I was like, we're in the land of... But you can actually hear what he's saying. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but if you listen to it enough, you'll be like, okay, I get what he's saying. And so... that's the type of band that's going to open for him, but open for him, like Mr. Randy and
Mike and Randy Gojira. Yeah, the Gojira brothers.
So the two openers were Alien Weaponry
and Knocked Loose. Oh my God, I was miserable.
We had talked about doing the mosh pit.
No.
And I had said, I'm going to do it. And you had said, you're absolutely not going to do it. And neither am I.
Right.
But we got up close to the stage because we got in there. One person back.
Yeah.
I mean, we were right there.
Had the perfect
the
perfect position for a concert.
And there's some pictures. You can see how close we are. I'll put them on the website. Alien Weaponry came out. They had the guy Slater from Saved by the Bell on bass. And they were okay.
They're all shirtless.
Now,
They kept sticking their tongue out and licking their guitar.
That's the guy. The bass player kept doing that. They were fine until he stuck his tongue out, and it wasn't like
his eyes were wide open, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lick all this. I'm licking this guitar. Oh yeah, look at this.
It wasn't.
Yeah, licking the guitar.
It wasn't Gene Simmons sticking out to look cool.
It wasn't even Miley Cyrus cool. It was like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
It was like he got surprised while his tongue was out, like, holy, my tongue's out.
I didn't know it could do that.
No.
Yeah.
So the drummer did that a little bit when he first came out, but it looked like he was trying to be funny.
I know.
It was like you would start to get into the music a little bit. I thought that they were okay, but then they would do something like that, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, these guys!"
It's like, stop licking.
And there
your
was
guitar.
there was a small mosh pit that opened up, maybe 10 feet in diameter, not that big. And you and I were looking at it like, man, if this is all that's going to happen up here, then we're fine.
Right.
The next band came out, Knocked Loose.
Oh my god.
So let me back up. Alien Weaponry. I looked this up. They're New Zealand.
Yes.
They're not singing English.
No.
I mean, because you were trying to figure out what they were saying.
They speak English.
They were doing that. Something weird. I think that's part of their spiel. That's kind of what they do.
Okay.
They don't really have lyrics except for like one song.
Except for
yeah, Knocked Loose. The guy was just screaming.
The guy is like you're going to a Sam Kinison concert.
Now listen to me. I can deal with screaming. I like screaming, and I'm a Nine Inch Nails fan.
Right.
And back in the day, Mr. Reznor would get up in that mic and scream like a muggy. Okay,
like a muggy burger.
Like a muggy burger. I've heard bands and I've dug bands that scream. Nobody can scream like Chris Cornell.
No.
He'd have a long drawn out. I'm a Tool fan. Maynard, early Maynard, has some screams that go on forever. But when it's all scream,
even Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. When it's all scream, no, it gets boring. And they weren't even. They weren't even. They seemed like they were just. I know they're probably excited because they're opening for Gojira. They're getting more recognition. The bass player is the guy that pissed me off in that band because he's the one that kept stopping and telling people to start moshing and so the mosh pit got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, he's like, where's my mosh pit?
Yeah, and then they knocked into you, and I was like, well, they knocked into Darren. What are you going to do? Every battle has collateral damage.
Right.
I'm still okay.
Not going to be me.
And then they kept knocking into you. It started getting really out of control. The little bald-headed guy that kept asking people to kill him.
No, the little bald-headed guy who I nicknamed affectionately Powder.
Yeah.
I was standing there with my arms crossed, and I was waiting for them to end. I was hoping, praying that they were on their last song. And then they just kept doing another song.
Yeah.
The Powder dude looks at me and goes, rock and roll. He's got the horns out.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, man. I'm like, rock and roll.
Just
thanks, Powder.
Whatever.
Go get in the mosh pit.
So what bothered me about all of this
and
is,
he did.
Now, the reason we left.
He asked you to kill him.
Yeah, while I was peeing.
What's that about?
Don't ask me to kill you while my penis is in my hand.
Right. That's the golden rule.
Don't ask me to kill you,
kids,
at all. But certainly not when
someone's penis is in their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me go further with that. I don't want to talk to anyone when my penis is in my hand.
No, I don't either.
No one. There's not a conversation I need to, want to, or should have in that situation.
Nope.
Certainly not to Gollum, because that's basically what he was. He was the Gollum of the show, asking me to kill him.
Gollum.
So what made me upset about all this is that I wanted to be close to see Gojira. I like them.
Right.
I like that band. I wanted to be right up in there. And the moshing kind of stopped with them. I mean, there was a little bit here and there. There were pockets of it, but it was about like how it was with Alien Weaponry. It was what I wanted to see, where I wanted to be. Couldn't be there because... Now, Knocked Loose, we made it through the show, but I had to go to the bathroom. And, Dan showed up and we wanted to go back there and see Dan. I was going to go to the bathroom anyway. I'm not going to pee on myself up there. So the show had gotten to the point where once you leave, the spot's gone. And then when we were back there, I was just annoyed. I thought Gojira was great, but it was bothering me because I was like, we were right there. There's no danger down there that we can't handle.
Right. I know.
And it.
But here's my thing.
But I had fun. I had fun at the Gojira.
Well,
part.
I have fun hanging out with you and Dan. So, I mean, I didn't enjoy the concert. So, between Alien Weaponry,
studies show. Go ahead.
Knocked Loose, and then Gojira, between the three of them, I'd say 26 songs.
Yeah.
27. I didn't understand one lyric at all. Not one.
Yeah.
Not one word came out of any of the three of their mouths that made any flippin' sense whatsoever. It was all, I'm like, okay, I'm too old to be doing this.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah. So I've listened to enough Gojira where I could understand most of what they were saying. But yeah, Alien Weaponry and Knocked Loose.
Knocked Loose.
Their music to me didn't warrant the level of response that they got. That's what bothered me the most. That response that I saw to Knocked Loose was what we should have seen for Gojira.
Lead singer of Knocked Loose does not look like someone who would just come out and scream. He looks like, you go to your boss's house and his little brother is there.
Yeah.
This is Billy. And he's in a band.
The whole new metal thing was kind of that. I mean, Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit. Was that considered new metal? He was like rap metal kind of.
I don't know what.
But there was a whole spattering of bands there that didn't look like they sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Gojira is kind of in that weird. I mean, they look like that, but they don't look like Sepultura or Slayer.
Right. No, that's.
But I enjoyed the concert, like you said. Seeing it with you and Dan, it was fun. I enjoyed that. I'm annoyed that I feel like Knock Loose and the crowd. Some people there weren't there to hear the music. A lot of people there were not there to hear the music. They were there to just run into each other.
They were there to start something or finish something.
Or like Gollum, find somebody to murder them at a metal show.
Rock and pure, nice and cool, so juicy, sweet.
So,
what are you doing, man?
Some tips from Uncle Mike and Uncle Darren for a metal show. One, don't eat or drink anything for about 5 hours before you go.
Nope.
Because you want to be able to stand in your spot and not move.
That's what I did at U2.
Yeah. 2, talk to people, large people. There were 2 very large people.
We made
friends with them very quickly.
And like if goes down, I've got your back and you got mine, right?
Yeah.
What good am I going to do having his back?
Yeah.
I got you there, Slick.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got their back.
Oh yeah, I'll dive in and I'll help you, man.
2 or
5'9",
3, whatever the hell rule we're on. Don't talk to anyone in the bathroom.
No.
Maybe as you're walking in, go, yeah, that was a great song. And then once you pass the threshold of the doorway, you don't say anything to anyone.
No.
You do not speak to the person to your left or the person to your right.
Right. Especially when their penis is in their hand.
Right.
Right.
Wear cargo shorts so that you can stuff a T-shirt that you bought in your cargo shorts.
Yeah, you don't want to carry things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, and enjoy the show. I broke all those rules or had those rules broken. I had a couple of beers there. That was a mistake. Gollum. Gollum tried to talk to you?
$14 a beer.
Yeah, they were
$14 a beer. Let me put this in layman's terms. If you were there by yourself and you bought a beer, just one, it would cost $14.
Yeah. In their defense, it was beer.
I'm sorry, a $14 and a can.
But it was like 3 beers in a can.
No, it wasn't.
It was a big can. It was a big can.
It might have been 2.
Yeah.
But it's not a $14 beer. Good.
Oh, I agree with
God.
you. Yeah, they got you over a barrel there.
Right.
But anyway, I had fun. And then the next day, we go to
no, hold on.
Go ahead.
After the show.
Oh, my gosh. I forgot. Sheets.
After the show, we were starving. And so we're trying to find a McDonald's, as Mike is wont to do. Where's Dan? Take us to a McDonald's.
Yeah.
We found something better. I know. What? Better than a McDonald's? What happened?
Hey, what happened?
How can that be? No, we went to a place called Sheets.
Now, I have experience with Sheets.
I have never heard of Sheets before.
It's for those of you.
This place is the Sheets.
So, for those of you not familiar with the Sheets, if you see one near you, go.
Yes.
They have. It's a gas station.
Yeah.
But they sell food. Now you're thinking, okay, food at a gas station. What is it? Those little
hot dogs
taquitos or hot dogs on a roller. Exactly. No, they have all the food.
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
They have burritos. They have hot dogs. They have cheeseburgers. They have salads. They have wraps.
You can get a breakfast sandwich,
which I got to
die for.
All those things. Yeah. Everything that you can think of. It's all on one menu.
You go up to the thing.
You don't even talk to anybody.
Right.
You don't even
go
talk
up to the thing, to the screen.
Yeah.
And you push the start.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you
push the picture of the food that you want in your belly.
Me want burger, so you push the picture that looks like a hamburger.
They have freaking milkshakes.
Yeah.
And you just do that, and you just wait, and then it comes to you, and it's good.
It's delicious.
I didn't have the burritos when we were there, but I've had the burritos before. If you're a Chipotle fan, it's about what they are.
Right. I had a breakfast
You had the breakfast sandwich.
Yep. Everything bagel with the scrambled egg, and then a sausage patty, and then American cheese, and a tomato. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And you had that at like midnight.
Yeah.
At a gas station.
At a gas station. And I'm just digging it. I'm absolutely loving it. So yeah, thank you for taking me to Sheetz. That was cool. That, and while we were in Cleveland, we went to Mr. Zub's.
Yes.
Mr. Zub's, which is in Akron, right?
Yes.
Is that okay? So Mr. Zub's has all these sandwiches named after movie characters. You can get the Jerk.
The dude.
Yeah, the Jerk was ham and Swiss. The Fletch, Irwin M. Fletcher from the movie. What was that?
Fletch.
Yeah, I know that. I'm acting stupid. The Frank the Tank. Holy crap. Let me find this. Frank the Tank is 2 grilled cheese sandwiches with a double bacon cheeseburger in the middle. And I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I wanted to so bad, but I'm like,
it comes with an appointment with the cardiologist.
I don't want to have to, use the to drop a deuce at the Gojira concert. But you know what?
You don't want Gollum to crawl under the stall.
Kill me. Kill me. Kill me, precious. Kill me.
No. It's like if you have a Frank the Tank and then you're at a Gojira concert. I mean, I could have just sat in there all through Knocked Loose and it would have been better.
Yeah. It might have knocked it loose.
Hey, you know what? Another problem with the concert, this is what sucks with getting old, is I have plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
My feet were killing me all night long.
My leg's been going numb lately.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good at all.
I don't think that's good.
No.
But yeah, that happened.
Anyway, if you're in Akron, Ohio, go to Dan's house, look at his Star Wars collection.
Yeah, go to Zub's.
And then go to Mr. Zub's sandwich shop.
And we saw a cat walking a pig on a leash.
That's right. We're sitting there at Mr. Zub's, and there's TVs behind me and Dan, and there's TVs behind you. We're just sitting there talking and eating, and Mike just like, I don't know what you guys are seeing on TV, but I see a cat walking a pig on a leash. And we're like, how many beers have you had?
Yeah.
You were just on your first.
So the sets behind me were sports. Yeah. Behind you guys, it was a special on pigs. And there was a cat walking
a pig on a leash. What the hell is that?
I'm Dave Lay, and I'm proud to announce a new product that'll rock your world. The Dave Lay jumbo-sized hard-boiled egg slicer. That's right, George Foreman has a grill, and now I have a hard-boiled egg slicer. Don't you hate it when you have to slice hard-boiled eggs that are too big for standard-sized egg slicers? Well, now your troubles are over. The Dave Lay jumbo-sized hard-boiled egg slicer is guaranteed to slice any egg at any time. It's perfect for salads, and it's fun for the whole family. Go to the website and buy one now, and they'll throw in a second one for free. Why do you need 2 jumbo-sized hard-boiled egg slicers? I don't have a clue. I just read what they put in front of me. Now, back to the show.
So the day after the Gojira concert, we're in Cleveland, and we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before, and you've been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I've been there a couple of times, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know you've been there a couple
times.
Yeah. So this is my second time. One of the things I really wanted to do, which I wasn't able to do, was I wanted to go on the Johnny Cash tour bus.
Yeah.
But it's closed because of COVID, which makes no sense at all to me. Open the door, let people go on one at a time, walk off. Okay.
Put a fan in there and some Purell.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly. Yeah. So I didn't get to go on the Johnny Cash tour bus. But went in. One of the things that was cool was they took down the giant W as soon as you walk in for Weezer. I was bitching about that. Apparently they listened to our episode where I bitched about that.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, Darren doesn't like that.
They still have the Trabants from the Zoo TV tour.
Yes,
They've had
do.
those since the thing opened, and I thought that was great.
They still have the giant wall from Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Yeah.
That was cool. As cool as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is,
it's missing some things.
Well, it's missing a lot of things. And here's my gripe.
Yeah.
I understand that it's been going now for 30... How many years has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame been putting members in? 30 years now, I think.
Okay.
And I know they can't have one giant wall dedicated to every single artist. Yeah. I get that. But there were, like, there's a Taylor Swift outfit in there. Taylor Swift is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
There's a Billie Eilish outfit in there, and she is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then there's something from Seether. I don't know why there's something for Seether in there. There's a whole room dedicated to artists who are from Cleveland. Okay? These are artists who are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I believe with all my heart and soul, and when I become a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'm going to write a stern letter.
Yeah, I was
and tell them, it's like, listen, if you have been in the industry for over 25 years and you're voted in and you're inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then your leather jacket is hanging in there, and only then. Your album, your signed lyric sheet, that's when you put it in there.
Well, they had the one room that had the plaques on the wall of the artists with the signatures under the year that they were inducted.
And that was really cool.
And I think it's not that much to ask, because as you went through, you would see the plaques got bigger for the bands. They would have so they would have a year, and they would have a larger plaque. Like Pink Floyd had a beautiful, and U2 and Kiss, and some of them had like very large plaques. I think the size of your exhibit should be comparable to the size of your plaque, or the number of times you're actually in there.
Right.
Like David Grohl is in there twice now for Nirvana and for the Foo Fighters. And you listed off a whole bunch of, like, Phil Collins, Genesis, and as Phil Collins. So
I've been thinking a lot about it. It's like we walked through the whole thing, and it's amazing. It's beautiful, and they've got really cool stuff in there. ZZ Top guitars and Guns N' Roses pinball game. But they used to have Michael Jackson's Thriller outfit and Michael Jackson's Beat It outfit side by side, and that's not there anymore. They used to have the ZZ Top car from the Give Me All Your Lovin' video and Alex Van Halen's full drum kit, and those aren't there anymore. And I don't know what they if they travel, if they move them into like a Hard Rock Cafe or something like that.
There was a grunge area, and I remember I was there in 2017 because Bess and Andrew were going to see the Joshua Tree, so I took Charlie to the Rock Hall of Fame, and I believe Pearl Jam was being inducted that year. And in front, like before you go in front, there was a mock-up of a stage setup. And it had their drums, it had their guitars, it had mannequins wearing their outfits. So if you're Gen X and everybody knows the Eddie Vedder, the green jacket with the flannel and the shorts. Yeah. They had all that. I mean, this is how much of a nerd I am. I could pinpoint which ones they were without reading the thing.
Exactly.
And that wasn't there. There was nothing that I saw from Pearl Jam there. And it was, looking in the grunge section, I was like, well, where did that stuff go?
I know, because
they had it just 4 years ago.
Because we were looking. There was, I didn't see anything from Rush.
That's weird. I
didn't see anything from Queen. I didn't see anything from Metallica.
Yeah.
Now I might have seen something from the Eagles,
so they used to
not
have,
like a giant thing of just a lot of stuff I thought I would have seen, but I didn't.
As you go on the upper floors, they have like the superstars or whatever, and then the very top we saw the Eddie Van Halen,
tribute brought tears to my eyes.
They used to have when the Who was put in, or they had a Who exhibit, and they had tons of stuff from the Who.
Yeah.
They didn't have a fraction of that now.
Yeah. Now, when I was there the first time, that big upstairs room was their Grateful Dead exhibit.
Okay.
Dedicated to deadheads who followed them for years and years.
And they had a wall. I thought it was pretty cool. They had a wall for Jerry Garcia's computer art. Yeah. And I thought it was funny that they had like a display of an Apple computer. And as I'm walking towards it, I thought, oh, wow, that's a computer that he used to do this stuff. And you get closer and you read the fine print. This is similar to the computer that was. Okay, you just found an Apple computer and you put it behind a glass case. You can't do that. And they did the same thing with the Eddie Van Halen guitar. If you look in the video, he talks about how he created that guitar.
Yeah.
And you see it right there. And then you get close to the fine print. This is a mock-up or a representation. Wait, that wasn't it.
That wasn't his guitar?
No. That was they created. I know. Like, you can't do, like, I could start a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the basement.
Yeah.
I've got a guitar case sitting over there. I was like, that's not Edge's guitar case, but it's really close.
This harmonica looks exactly like one Bob Dylan thought about playing. on Highway 51.
That drum set right there, Neil Peart plays drums that look like that. It's not really his drums.
But no, and neither are the sticks.
You can't do that in the Hall of Fame.
I did not know. I thought that was Eddie Van Halen's
Well, Dan's
guitar.
the one that... you remember Dan, our historian?
Dan,
yeah. I took a picture of it. He's like, yeah, that's not really his guitar. And I'm like, what? And he's like, look at the print. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then he added insult to it. He kicked me while I was down. He's like, none of this stuff is from them. And it's true. Every one of those had that little fine print thing on there.
Even Tom Morello's guitar?
I didn't look. No, I'm saying everyone in the Eddie Van Halen exhibit.
Okay.
As much as I think they screwed up some things like not having Rush, not having Queen, not having Kiss. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm annoyed that U2 still has that small area.
Yeah.
U2's a huge band. They should have more than that.
They are.
But I really enjoyed, there were other things in there that if you're into rock and all that stuff, you know that the Beatles and the Rolling Stones had kind of a feud going on.
Right.
So when you go into the Beatles and Rolling Stones area, they're on opposite walls facing each other.
Yeah.
I love that. I get a kick out of that.
Well, Mick Jagger inducted the Beatles into the Rock and Roll.
I didn't know that.
He did. And he's up there, and he could not have been cooler. And he says, I know we've had all this rivalry for years, and I can't do a Mick Jagger impression, but he says, I still like to consider them my friends.
Yeah.
And he was just so thrilled to be there to induct them. And that they were pretty cool about it too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But something else they had. Now, granted, this was a cool exhibit.
Yeah.
But they had one giant room dedicated to Super Bowl halftime shows.
Yes.
Which, in theory, was cool, but it took away from exhibit space for people who are in the Hall of Fame. Because the left shark that stood next to Katy Perry is on display in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Are you kidding me? Okay. Left shark. Next to her cute little dread or whatever she was wearing. Left shark.
So they had...
Weeknd. Yeah. The red suits with the masks, with the face things, whatever. The Weeknd has an exhibit in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So I know that I am biased, but they had U2. They had the jacket. Anybody who watched the U2 halftime show, and it has a picture of Bono doing that with the jacket. They had the names for the 9/11 people.
He opens a jacket.
It's the American flag, and it was a big moment. And in the little description there at the display, it talks about how moving that was that he opened the jacket.
Yes.
They have the jacket there. It's closed up.
It's not open.
Get yourself a thumbtack. Get a paper clip. Do something to open the thing.
Hire somebody to hold the jacket open. Get Sarah and her little sister Alice to stand there and hold the jacket open.
And so, yes. I'm even annoyed. I'm annoyed with the room that had Cleveland and people from the Midwest. Okay, they had Cleveland on one side and then all other people from the Midwest. I guess they can do that because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They had Smashing Pumpkins because they were in Chicago. Tool and Maynard are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Maynard is the frontman for 3 bands. Tool, Perfect Circle, and Pussifer.
Right.
Okay? He's from the Midwest.
How long? How long have they been out?
Tool, I think, was like 90 or 91. Okay. Pussifer was like just a few years after that.
Because it's got to be 25 years.
Perfect Circle was a little bit after that. Yeah. So there may be some reason, but I get it if they're not inducted, but neither is Taylor Swift and Seether.
And definitely Billie Eilish is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Now, you may call me grandpa for saying this. I think Maynard and Tool have done more for music, rock, than Seether.
I agree. I 100%
Taylor
agree.
Swift and the shark that was next to Katy Perry.
And I'll tell you something else.
The shark.
There's the giant display with the 3 costumes that the background dancers for the weekend from the Super Bowl are standing there. Giant. 3 mannequins. Side by side by side. And the only thing I could find from Bob Seger was handwritten lyrics to Like a Rock.
Yeah.
Way back.
Metallica's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The only thing I saw there was the handwritten lyrics to Enter Sandman, which is great.
Yeah.
So
it's just like
when
give it to the people who've earned it. Don't did it. Yeah.
When you see that, it's annoying, but it gets personal when you also see. Yes, I think that Jerry Garcia's art should be displayed. It was cool. I spent a lot of time in that room.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see an Apple II. If it was the Apple or the Macintosh that he used, Put it right there. Don't show me this is what a computer is.
I know there's more things they could put in there. It's just like there's things that I saw the first time that wasn't in there the second time. Why'd you get rid of them?
And where the hell are they? Where is that Pearl Jam? That Pearl Jam setup was really cool. Where the hell is it?
Yeah.
They used to have the Fly outfit from Bono, I believe. I don't know where that is.
Okay. But cool things that I did see was the guitar that Bill Haley in the Comets played.
Yeah.
The first ever known rock and roll song.
Yeah.
Rock Around the Clock.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's history at its purest. The guitar from the very first rock and roll song.
Yeah.
Bam, right there.
That has to be.
The Elvis section was cool.
Yeah.
The stuff that they had of the Beatles was cool. I would have
and some of the history stuff that they went through with the, rock is evil, rock is the devil,
God,
with the
protesting
sayings.
wall was crazy. Yeah.
And as you go along that wall, and I love the I spent a lot of time at the Rolling Stones area. I feel bad I didn't spend a lot of time at the Beatles area, but I've just never really cared about them. I'm just...
I don't know how you can't like them.
I told you, we were there. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I don't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like I asked Bess, I was like, does that make me not a rock fan that I don't like the Beatles?
Yeah, it makes you awful.
Yeah.
It does.
But I really... Last note, we're going to talk about this all night. This is the last thing I'm going to say. And I do have a picture of this. They showed outfits of each person in the Rolling Stones, what they wore on different tours. The most conservative, least druggy looking one was Keith Richards. Everybody else's outfit was bombed out crazy. Mick Jagger's, everybody expects him to be. He looked like it was like a bunch of sunglasses and like a sleeveless thing. They had one that would look like just like a doily.
I can't remember what Charlie Watts' uniform.
Charlie Watts was a pinstripe mirror suit.
Yeah.
It was like reflective and then black. And then who's the other guy? The other guitar player?
Ron Wood.
Was wearing basically a doily.
Yeah.
With his, everybody's seeing everything because who cares? Yeah. And then you look at Keith Richards and it looks like a mortician suit. It's like, what are you doing? And now they showed video of them in these outfits, and Keith Richards looked awesome.
Yeah.
But just the clothes hanging there, it just didn't work.
Hey, listen, and if you're in Cleveland, if you do go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which as much as we've bitched about it, it's still really cool. There's still a lot of great things to see. And Irritable Dad Syndrome has something on display now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, our exhibit is in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's a section where you can go and you can make...
We have a bigger exhibit than Kiss does.
Yeah. It's true.
We do.
You can go and you can get a sticker made with your band name.
Yeah.
And so Mike had one badass Irritable Dad Syndrome sticker built or printed out or whatever.
Exactly.
And we stuck it right there, right where everybody can see it.
That's right.
So we're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. It's your old buddy Dave Lay on behalf of Darren and Mike. We would like to congratulate Chris Michael on becoming Irritable Dad Syndrome's greatest fan of all time. You see, unlike some listeners who claim to be super fans of the show, Chris doesn't pull a bunch of stupid crap to get his ass banned from the show. He doesn't threaten to put bags of dog poop in Mike's yard. Chris Michael sets the bar high on how true fans are supposed to act. Thank you, Chris. We love you. Now, back to the show.
You mentioned Mortician with Keith Richards.
Yeah.
When we got back from Cleveland, Mike and I drove back from Cleveland, and we had a couple hours before we went to a Halloween party in my neighborhood.
Boy, they knocked it out of the park.
Oh,
man.
my God.
They blew that puppy out.
My neighbors, Jason and Aaron Durbin, threw one killer Halloween party. Mm-hmm. And this is what was killer, literally. They have a friend who's a mortician. They had a hearse parked outside of their garage, and they had an actual casket in the garage. They go all out. So if you've been paying attention to the podcast, you know that Mike and Jason Durbin are at odds, or have been at odds with each other.
Yeah.
And so we were afraid that something was going to go down when they were, face to face, because Mike's been running his mouth for weeks now.
All I've been doing is trying to support local business. Now, when we were there, I didn't notice Jason for a while because the nature of my costume, I was Magnum PI. I had sunglasses. I couldn't see very well.
Right.
And Jason was dressed as an underachieving Tron.
I had no idea what his costume was.
He was a guy in Tron that just didn't quite cut the mustard.
Okay.
At least that's what I said his costume is. I don't know what he planned on being.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I learned a lot of things at that party. I learned that Jason brews his own pumpkin beer.
Jason brews some really, really good beer.
I learned that he knows how to put an awesome party together.
Yes, he does.
I learned that he has amazing calves.
He can fix your car.
He can fix my car.
Mm-hmm. He's fixed my lawnmower a couple of times.
You can eat off of his garage floor.
Yes. His spick and span.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say that I kind of thought that there was somebody was going to, two people go to the party, one person leaves. This was not the situation because Jason had a peace offering for you, which was awesome. When you showed up, he brought you a Blue Bunny ice cream sandwich, and the look on your face.
The man knows me.
Yeah.
He knows me.
The man cares.
I think we could have peace in the Middle East with Blue Bunny ice cream sandwiches.
Exactly. So anyway, that was awesome. And their friend, after you guys left, and that party went.
I was dead. I was dead after.
I understand. Libby and I stayed until 2 a.m.
Oh my Lord!
They had the music cranked even louder. Where everybody's singing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the cops didn't come. Our other neighbors, the Wetterers, came.
Yeah.
There was a conga line in the garage. A conga line, like 10 people did a conga line in a garage. So you go over here 3 feet, you turn, you go over there 4 feet, then you turn, It was a great party.
That was awesome.
And something else cool happened. Aaron Durbin and I had our picture taken together, and you can see her titties, her cheese titties, her Vivo's Country Kitchen cheese titties, TIDDIES.
Yeah.
They're in a box. And because she gave me a box.
Yes.
And she also has some. So she says, Darren, come here and take a picture, and I'll show everybody my titties.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties, the crispy, cheesy treats you'll crave. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I love titties, especially Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties. Baked with a rich, sweet, and cheesy flavor, you'll taste the difference when you bite into these titties. These snacks are so good, if you put one titty in your mouth, I'll guarantee you'll want more. Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties. Ask for them by name.
And now, an important announcement from this network's new Late Show host.
I'm Dave, and I want to be your TV friend.
Same Dave, better time, new station.
It's time now for the Kroger Story of the Week.
You met a Kroger manager at the party. I wanted to get to this one. What is this? Do we have an end now? Can we?
We might
tell them that we talk about Kroger all the time.
Yeah, I asked her, and this lady, she's a Kroger manager.
Okay.
She was dressed up as the red light, green light thing from Squid Game, which you haven't seen, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, Aaron's like, "This is my friend, and she's a manager at Kroger," and I'm like, "Look. What do we have to do to get a sponsorship from Kroger?"
Yeah.
It's like, come on. And she said, well, you have to call the corporate office.
Okay.
And she's going to get me their number.
Okay.
And I told her, I said,
What's she going to do? Look it up on the Google and then send it to you? Or is she going to give you like an inside?
I think she has it because
when you say manager, is she a store manager? Or
she's a store manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not the one that we go to. We're trying to get in good with Kroger here.
Pshaw.
But I told her, I said, I don't know if Aaron's told you or not, but we speak favorably of Kroger every single episode.
And it's just as easy for us to go unfavorable.
Now, don't start making threats.
I'm not making threats. I'm just saying.
Mike, shut up.
It's a free country.
That's not how you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Don't be a douche.
Are you denying me my First Amendment rights?
Okay, look, if you don't want Kroger as a sponsor, then keep running your mouth.
I do.
Well, then shut up.
I'm just saying, it's a nice reputation to have. It'd be a shame to ruin it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
what have they done for me lately?
I went into Kroger and there's a rat running it jumped right out of a box of cereal.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I went and got my Blue Bunny ice cream, opened up, they were moldy. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you.
We've given them a lot of press. There's been a lot of business has gone to Kroger because of this show.
And it's all over with.
That Blue Bunny ice cream sandwich would not have been purchased by the Durbins had I not talked about it on this show. Fact.
I thought we had an end, but apparently we don't. So my apologies to the fine folks at Kroger. Thank you for considering us.
You're going to sponsor us. It's just a matter of when.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can work something out. We can make an appearance at the Crowbar.
Yeah. I asked her if she knew my favorite cashier.
Okay.
You know, the guy who gives the history lesson. She goes, oh, yes.
Oh.
And I told her, I said, he is my absolute favorite. I said, if I see him working, I'll get in line.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people are in line. I'll get in his line to see if I can hear a history lesson from him, because I eat it up. And it's not like he wastes my time.
No.
He doesn't. He talks while he's working and gives you your change or your receipt. And the story ends perfectly when it's, and thank you very much, and thank you for shopping at Kroger.
Yeah.
But I told her, I said, you know, whether it's Macho Man Randy Savage, Jimmy Buffett, or when they coined the first nickel, I mean, he's fascinating. She says, yeah, I know she's going to pass along that I enjoy going through his line, because I think everybody needs to know if they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
This has been the Kroger Story of the Week.
I told you a story on the way to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked I haven't told here. I had an earache once. Yeah. Okay.
That's when your ear hurts.
Yes, it's
earache.
Earache.
Yeah. Okay.
So I usually ignore them. You know, they'll go away because your body fights back whatever it is. This one lasted for a number of days, and I'm like, I just want to get some antibiotics. I'm tired of my ear hurting. So I went to an urgent care near here, and the doctor comes in, and he's like, how old are you? And I was 41, 42, something when I went there. And I told him, he's like, it's a little old to have an earache. And he left. He left me with that knowledge as I'm sitting in there.
Right.
And he comes back in and he looks in my ears and he says, you absolutely have an infection. You may have a brain tumor.
What happened?
So what happened?
Hey, what happened?
So let that one sit there. And I'm like, well, why do you, because he hadn't, you know, usually I'm not a doctor.
No,
I'm
you've
not.
never claimed to be.
I've never claimed to be.
Right.
But I've seen them on TV.
I have too.
And I've seen them in movies.
I watched a lot of episodes of ER.
I know a couple of doctors. If I put all my combined knowledge together, what I do know is typically before being told that you have a brain tumor, someone does an X-ray or what's that called? A
MRI.
MRI. One of those things. None of these, a mammogram, none of these things happen. Why do you think that I have a brain tumor? And he said, it's not normal for someone your age to have an earache. It could be caused by a tumor in your brain.
Oh.
He didn't really, you know, like when you ask someone to explain something and all they do is they don't really expand on any additional information.
Right.
He had already said, I have a brain tumor, and then he expanded on that by saying, you may have a tumor in your brain.
Right.
I get those two things are kind of equivalent.
You're not a smart man, but you're smart enough to know that.
So that happened, and I left, and I asked some other friends and family that I know that are doctors, is this true?
You got a second opinion.
You got a second opinion. And the second opinions were, you absolutely can have an earache when you're in your 40s.
Yeah.
And it does not automatically mean that you have a brain tumor.
I get them all the time.
Yeah. And I also, well, you may.
I might.
I don't want to scare you.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if I had.
You probably have a brain tumor.
My brain, half of it could be eaten by lice. I don't know.
So, and then to add insult to injury, they didn't charge my insurance. So I had to pay for the entire visit and never got reimbursed for that. And what I did get an antibiotic out of it. So I guess that helped.
Lottie frickin' da. So that was the story you told me while we were driving to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Tell everyone the story that you told me when we went home.
So we were talking about different concerts that we've been to. And I got your attention because I said, have I ever told you about the time I saw Tool and drank my contacts? And to my shock, you said, no, you've never told me the story of seeing Tool and drinking your contacts. So
don't know how you could do that, but...
So, and I need to put a picture of this thing. I'll put a picture of this thing on the website. Me and my friend...
Of you drinking your contacts?
No. Of the poster.
Okay.
That's part of the reason that I drank my contacts is because of that poster. Tool has posters that they make, and they have a T-shirt that goes along with it, specific for each concert that they go to. So it's kind of a collector's thing. It has the venue and the date and all that stuff. But they go very fast. So me and my friend got there very early. And there's more lines. Lager House, a brewery, is right next to or near the arena that we saw Tool. Close enough. Yeah. So we get there, we get our stuff, we put it in the car. Now we're there like 2 hours before the show. We go to the bar.
Right.
And we begin to imbibe, as it were. Yeah. So we get to the show. Somehow we get to the show. We get to our seats.
Thank God you're walking.
And my friend just keeps bringing more drinks as we go. So I got a bit schnackered, as they say. We ended up going out again after the show. The show was great, what I remember of it. We ended up going out after the show again to the Yard House. I know that I imbibed more there. We get to the hotel. It's clear at this point that I am going to be very dehydrated and I'm going to regret what has happened previously.
Yes.
So I get all the hotel cups of water within reason. I've let him have one, but I got all the other ones that I could get. I filled them full of water. I also forgot my contact case. And my glasses.
Okay.
So I took my contacts out and I put them in one of the glasses of water. In my state of mind, I thought, well, if I set this one off to the side, I won't have to worry about anything happening to it and I'll be able to put my contacts in the morning. What I didn't know is that at 3 or 4 in the morning or whenever, I would wake up and I would be completely parched and I would drink every bit of water that was anywhere near me. The next morning, I'm looking around for my glasses and remembered I didn't bring my glasses, my contacts. I looked at all the cups and they were all empty. And then it dawned on me, you drank your contacts. So I did a little bit of, for a few seconds, I did what you're doing right now. Now I have a story of going to see Tool and drinking my contacts. The problem that people may have noted in this is that I live maybe 20 minutes away from where I was at that point.
Yeah.
I also can't see without my glasses or my contacts.
Right, neither can I.
So I immediately called my wife, who couldn't come get me. I didn't even ask her to. I just called her because that seemed like the thing to do. To let her know.
Hey, honey, I drank my contacts.
Yeah, I would just let her know that within the next 10 to 15 minutes, I was going to attempt what is highly inadvisable to drive home. And I maybe end up on the news. I may need bail money later, something. I managed to make it out of Cincinnati. It was easier than you think to get out of the city because they have traffic lights everywhere. And I use those to guide myself. And I've driven in and out of the city so many times. I could do it literally blind, which is what I did. And I go north. It got harder as I got on 75 North because everything starts to look the same. And cars don't really stick out to you when you're blind.
Right.
I could see lights, but I couldn't see other cars around me. So it was a very harrowing experience. When I got here, my wife was both surprised and happy to see me. Surprised that I was alive and not in jail, and happy that I was alive and not in jail. I proceeded to come down here in the basement and sleep that off. But yeah, that's the story. And I'm assuming I passed my contacts. I hope they're not part of me. I hope that my body doesn't end up being given to science and I end up on some medical student's table and they find contacts in my liver. Like, what's this? What happened?
What happened?
Hey, what happened?
How did those get there? Well, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode. This has been a fun one. Before I go, I wanted to say a couple things. One, Keurig, you know Keurig, they make the coffee. They also make sweet tea, and you can get Keurig hot iced tea. And I don't know how that works. But anyway, what I wanted to say was that you can go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, go to merch, and right now you can buy a Whompers All Beef Footlong Hot Dogs t-shirt and a coffee mug.
Boom.
It's so cool. Though I told you, I let the cat out of the bag a week or so ago that Whompers they reached out to us and they said, hey, you know, we love sponsoring your show. We love your podcast. And they are so happy to be affiliated with us. And so they are going to start selling their merch on our website. So if you want a Whompers All Beef Footlong Hot Dog t-shirt or a mug, go to our website, get a ruler and measure it yourself. And you can buy your own Whompers All Beef Footlong Hot Dog.
Boom.
T-shirt or mug. So you got to do that. And go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, become a patron. You can listen to previous episodes. You can look at cool pictures of me and Mike.
Follow us on the Twitter.
Yes, on the Instagram.
And on the Facebook.
Yeah, we do the most of our stuff on Facebook. So
yeah.
But we want to thank all of our listeners. And again, we hope we see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
You know what? I'm craving chili. I think I'm going to make a pot right now. We'll see you later.
Driving down the highway at night, and you're feeling that wild turkey's bite. Don't give Johnny Walker a ride, 'cause Jack Black is right by your side. You might get taken to the jailhouse and fined. You've been arrested for driving while blind.
Kill me. Kill me. Kill me, precious. Kill me.
That was disturbing.